Hey, Bailey, I wanna know if you'll be my girl. I know I can't fucking do it like the UK crowd. I'm sorry. I'm John Rentham with a retro view of NXT TakeOver London. And outside of the first match, the last match, and that fucking electric crowd, this was not a very good takeover. Now, I remember being really excited because they were going to be in the UK, they were going to be in London, and we know that the UK crowds have a different energy altogether. I mean, fucking hell, you cannot out-chant and out-cheer a UK crowd. They will find a way to fucking badger you with great chants and insane chants and drunk chants and a lot. They're really noisy and they're really great and they're tremendous wrestling fans. So, yeah, this isn't a takeover that can be remembered fondly outside of what I necessarily mentioned, at least in my opinion. That doesn't mean that any of the matches were bad, but, like, the middle match might as well have just been on weekly NXT TV. Like, seriously, there wasn't a whole lot to that. But anyway, the crowd electric all goddamn night. Triple H, by the way, who got beat up by Roman Reigns at TLC and then decided, hey, I'm going to come over here and just no-sell all that and everything, and I'm just going to do this. Let me just come over and, be the savior of WWE, except Triple H isn't going to be the savior of WWE. That's in no way, shape, or form going to ever fucking happen. Pretty obvious considering that the weekly NXT right now has kind of taken a fucking nosedive into a goddamn crater about 8 miles deep. But anyway, this is actually when NXT meant a little more than it does now, even with this being one of the weaker takeovers. So, Rich Brennan, Byron Saxton, Corey Graves on commentary, Asuka versus Emma with Dana Brooke at ringside. One of the best women's matches outside of Bayley versus Sasha. Like, really, it was fucking tremendous. Asuka had only had one takeover match, carrying Dana Brooke to a very passable match at TakeOver Respect. And Dana Brooke was here to kind of encourage Emma, even though Emma at her worst was leagues better than Dana Brooke. And that's not to say Dana Brooke has not improved and tried, but it's just kind of funny she's there being her coach and encouraging her. Good, you got her right where you want her. How the fuck would you know, Dana? You haven't wrestled all that long. But anyway, Dana shouting from ringside still did get kind of comical. Asuka's gonna kill you chants. Really, really good stuff. Emma was at her peak at this point, even with injuries. I mean, and still is doing tremendously well in other promotions. And Asuka, just fucking great here. Both of these women really tore the house down. And we got a ref bump because Proud Boy ref had to take a bump. He couldn't be near women because he wouldn't know what to fucking do because he's a Proud Boy ref. And Proud Boys don't know what the fuck to do with women, especially women that are this beautiful, this talented, and could easily kick their Proud Boy ass. So anyway, weird distractions via bell because Dana's trying to get Emma to win, and then high kick, 1, 2, 3, and Emma gets pinned. Now, it was really, really good stuff, though. Asuka and Emma tearing the house down. Great way to kick off the show. And then we have Enzo and Cass with Carmela versus The Revival. It's for the NXT Tag Team Championships, and oh, fucking dear. I never understood how Enzo and Cass were ever over. I mean, and Carmela, credit to her for somehow sticking around longer than them. Seriously, that speaks highly of her, or maybe the company just, shows her, sees something in her that we don't, or at least some fans don't. But that being said, Carmela, good on her. She doesn't actually seem like a bad person, unlike Enzo and Cass. And yeah, Enzo and Cass were catchphrases, and Cass could do some big man shit. They were not a good team. They were not a good team at all. I mean, looking back on it, their work was fucking rotten. Enzo could not fucking work one goddamn bit. And the Revival carrying them here, I did like the nah, the Hey Jude chant for Big Cass. That was really fucking creative. The crowd was very alive for this. And then Super Shatter Machine pinning Enzo 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's really about it right there. And then we get to the third match. It's Baron Corbin, the Lone Wolf, versus Apollo Crews. This wasn't good. At one point, Baron Corbin says to him, you should have stayed in Ring of Honor. If you look at Apollo Crews' career, I don't remember him spending a lot of time in Ring of Honor. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that he made his name in promotions other than Ring of Honor. Maybe that was the only one Baron Corbin could spell. I'm not really sure. And this is actually when I liked Baron Corbin. I mean, I don't even hate him now. I just find him kind of boring and bland. But Crews tried, but this match went about twice as long as it should have. They really should have just saved it for NXT TV. And today's 1, 2, 3. And by the way, in place of the Baron Corbin match here, they could have put one of the following matches. American Alpha versus Blake and Murphy versus Hype Bros versus Vaudevillains in a 4-way match. Elias Sampson, remember before they made him just Elias? Ladies and gentlemen, Elias versus Bull Dempsey. And Sami Zayn versus Ty Dillinger. Mr. Future 10 himself. Mr. Sean Spears, loaded fisting glove himself. And Sami Zayn vignette to, hype his return, even though he would return a dark match here. And they would show that, for the following week's, NXT TV. Because they were traveling back and they were like, hey, we're not going to make these guys do that. And we hadn't taped anything yet, so let's just show them the dark matches. Which was smart. It's a good way to actually, give people a bit of a rest. So, Nia Jax promo, a stare down with Asuka. Okay, so we get, and that's basically it right there. She's going to dominate Bayley and then stares down Asuka. Okay, take 2015 Nia Jax and 2020 Nia Jax. Besides 5 years older, is there a difference? No, there isn't a fucking difference because Nia Jax can't fucking work, can't fucking talk, and is somehow worse in 2020. Now, maybe that's injuries, maybe it's the fact she's lazy, but fucking hell, Nia Jax couldn't fucking work here either. Now, had it not been for the crowd chanting for Bayley, hoo-ha, I want to know if you'll be my girl, or ooh-ah, maybe not hoo-ha, probably the wrong thing to say during a women's match, but Bayley, I think, herniated every disc in her back carrying Nia Jax here. And, Nia can do some power stuff, and that's really about it, but she was gassed, clearly gassed, and guillotine choke for the win. That's really it right here. We're flying through this goddamn takeover. Remember when takeovers were just about 2 hours and they just flew by? We get Samoa Joe versus Finn Balor for the NXT Championship, and boy, Finn Balor is Jack the Ripper or Judith the Ripper. They never caught them. It could have been a woman. There were 5 women murdered in 1888. It could have been a woman. She might have been upset with those harlots, those hussies. It's like when I watched Black Christmas, 1974. You hussy. And if you get it, I love you guys. Great match. Great fucking match, as you would expect. This is when the Balor-Samoa Joe feud, quite frankly, should have peaked. Because it went on to Dallas, and then it went on, NXT TakeOver Dallas, which obviously would have taken place in Dallas, would have been weird if it took place in Portland, Maine. And then, the title drop at the house show, I believe, in Lowell, Massachusetts. Shout out to WrestleRand. I believe he was there. And a few others may have been as well. And then it culminated at TakeOver The End in June. 7 goddamn months, actually, if you think about it, because they had to do some stuff before to set up this match. So, yeah, the feud went on a bit too long. That being said, still a great match, though. Nice highs and lows, ebbs and flows. Heel Joe is the best Joe. He was great at grinding down on Balor. Yes, Balor being grinded down on by another man. I know some women wish that they could, or maybe some men. I'm not here to kink shame you, but the dives meant something. The near falls are really, really good, and we get a coup de grace, 1, 2, 3, and there you go. Finn Balor winning clean. Good stuff. Should have been the fucking end, but they just kind of gave up and said, hey, we're just going to extend this feud, even though there was no need. But honestly, the opening match, the closing match, and the crowd chants are what, fucking made this show even halfway passable. That being said, compared to other takeovers, maybe not all that great. But anyway, agree, disagree with what I said? Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.